You know what the most interesting thing about this is, like, all of this and all that, it's not even talking about the chapter, is the fact that I was like, oh, Platinum End's out, that's awesome, I'm going to check chapter 8, not understanding anything. I was like, well, did I miss something in this? Realizing, oh my god, it hit me and all that. I didn't actually do chapter 7 because I completely forgot about I don't know, because I'm honestly telling you the truth here, I completely, did not even see chapter 7 at all, and that's probably, the main reason why, I hadn't done a Platinum End chapter, and I feel really bad for those people that actually want to do it, and I've wanted to do every chapter. So yes, prepare your anuses, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm not doing one, I'm doing 2 chapters in a row for Platinum End. I'm doing chapter 7 and 8, and yeah, you're going to have to strap in because there is a lot of stuff that went down in both chapter 7 and chapter 8. As we clearly see at the end of chapter 6, we met that mysterious man that was outside of our main protagonist's fucking house, just staring out the window going, ooh, saying that. Finding out that he introduces himself as Roku Kaido, like Naruto, and pretty much he works as a fashion company as a marketer, and also as well, he's like, oh, I work on new products, blah blah blah, on suspense work, and we find out about in chapter 7 a good majority of his backstory, and it's like, well, we trust him. It's like, why, exactly and all that. Why would he come to the front door as Nase explains, is going from a window and doing all this stuff? Wouldn't he have just shot us by now, or using the red hearts or anything like that when we're defenseless? And it's Nase trusts this fucker, so we let him in. It's and they don't use their red arrows on him, and we find out exactly how he was able to get in contact with his angel. Being a tier 1, having Fari, who, very interesting enough, this is something that you can know, is that actual angels can be demoted, and I believe, Fari used to be an actual, special tier class one that had the wings, the white, the red arrow, but I think it was she was something more, she knows all the information pretty much about heaven and all this stuff about human world and all the rules and everything. She's the smart one out of all the ones in the angel. I think she just decreases herself because oh, I'm not, I don't give a fuck, I'm only caring about finding out about more information. And the thing about Roku Kaido is that he has the severe case of cancer, and his doctor telling him that it was a couple of months, 4 months ago, is that you only have for 3 months to live. And it was well, there's something there. Being there on his deathbed, the man's got a 28-year mortgage on the house. He's got kids, he's got a kid also on the way, and he's I need to leave all my family, I need something there, and he's on his deathbed there, and Barry comes and pretty much grants him his wish, and the first thing that he does immediately is I went to the richest man in Japan, and I fucking shot a red arrow in him, and I let him give him 20 million to my family. That was the thing, and he was understanding, he's look, I don't care, I know I don't deserve to be God, I don't care and all that, but I'm leaving something for my family. And it's the same thing, which is very interesting with this character as well, which is he's probably, I would say, the most interesting character out of everyone so far. Just to the matter that it's even with how he describes Metropolitan Man, and even with the point where he's he's giving Mirai a fucking gun at chapter 8. He's I'm gonna give you fucking weapons and all that, even with you don't use your white arrows and stuff. And even when he's pushing them and saying, well, no matter what and all that, you got all this stuff going on, what what happens and all that, if it was out of everyone, it was it was Saki was the one getting shot, not me. And even with if that was the case, and he's oh, I really want to use my red for most of the times of the situation, but it's that was the one where he's Mirai has something strong, because he's he can't hate someone, he's having a very hard time doing that, and it's he doesn't, he's always been raised and brought up that way. And, you just see, Natsu's, reaction to this. It's just well, if I'm in that situation, I don't care if I die and all that, because I know my family's safe. As long as we stop Metropolitan Man, he does not deserve to be God. Even testing the kid, saying hey, do you guys want to be gods? And both Saki and Mirai and it's good, because no one deserves to be god. And then when we get to Metropolitan Man and find out about his real life, that he's in he honestly feels a lot like Light, where he's in an academy, good grades and all that. And then when he's asking this kind of friend of his, he's well, what wish would you have on the world and all that? And it's I don't know, I thought that bitch, and isn't that the cost of your life and all that? And he's oh no, what wish would you have? I don't know, get rid of all the ugly bitches in the world. And I'm these guys are fucking assholes. And he's my wish, although it's something far away, and I think this is what kind of makes him more dangerous. The fact that, like, his wish and all that, like, at the point where he lost hope, because that's the point of it. Everyone, like, here, were, like, suicidal, wanting to kill themselves, no point in living, is that he wants the ability of resurrection, and his whole thing is that he wants to revive his sister, who, like, his sister died and passed away, and then finding out, like, he's there, got her strapped in these, like, fucking weird, like, techno basement there, frozen up. So it kind of really reminds me a lot of, like, Mr. Freeze from Batman, where, like, Mr. Freeze was doing that for, like, his wife, and he was like, you know, I absolutely cherish her, and, you know, that's why I, like, started, like, put her in, like, cryogenic sleep. So it's kind of very interesting. So it's like, we do have his motive, and it's like, that's more scary, because the thing that he can do, and the one thing that he was going to kill himself over, and it's like, yeah, that's what he was going to do it for and all that. And it's like, when he becomes God, he's just going to resurrect his sister, and he's going to change the way that he actually, like, feels everything. Also as well, like, Roku, like, he actually, like, did some real smart, like I said, I really like this character so far. Did some smart shit. Used the rest of his arrows and all that to get, like, a bunch of, psychologists and all, a bunch of that, go into the crowd and have a look and was able to point out who Mirai and Saki was, because they were the only ones that reacted to the whole fucking arrows being shot down. It was like, yeah, and he managed to find out that one of the other, like, you know, candidates as well was a little kid. Although he doesn't know his name, he wasn't able to find anything else about it. It's like, that was the only thing that he was able to get information on. And his whole plan is like, we need to get all these people, we need to get them together, we need to sort a plan, and we need to sort out Metropolitan Man. That's the whole thing that we got to do, and we got to get the others. Meanwhile, with that piece of shit, what he's doing is that he's got a fucking serial killer. Like, he's given a serial killer fucking the red wings. He's just like, oh yeah, you could have the red wings, which we find a bit about her, which I believe her name was like her little nickname was like Me. She was like an amateur, like, model, and like with the start of chapter 8, she's there making out with a schoolgirl. He's like, yeah, I told you to go for ugly ones and all that. It's like, you know, she's so from there, and like you can even see from the start of the chapter, she's like gone for like a girl, and she's like hanged up on a fucking roof, like all cut up and shit. And it's like, this bitch is fucked up. Like, coming into that, it's like she's like fucking like girls, and then she's like going there, like, you know, tricking and playing with them, and then just pulling a knife and just, like, you know, stabbing and doing all kinds of really fucked up shit to them. I mean, she was already, like, under arrest. She was, but she managed to escape because it was like, oh, you know, they happened to like give her a uniform and all that out of the youth detention, and like have all this stuff where it's like, well, it was either Metropolitan Man, like, either brought her out and saying, yeah, I need you, and it's like, clearly she seems to be under the red arrow or like some way, because she's only interested in chicks from what it looks like. But it's like, oh, but I like you, Metropolitan Man, but I've never seen his face before. So it's clearly like he's got a red arrow like into the bitch, right? You know, like a number of days for her, and then it's like, well, I'm gonna use you as a distraction, and it's like, I'm gonna like fuck up with some shit. Because if you think about it, it's like he's using the powers right, where it's like, I'm really overpowered. I have so many red arrows and I have so many white ones, and he has an actual really cool fucking like thing that we find out about the arrows and the wings, and it's especially with the red arrows. You only have one set of them. You actually have 14 at a time, so you can shoot them. However, though, once you shot someone with a red arrow and they died, the red arrow returns to you. So she can just keep doing this anytime and all that, so that you can do. Like, even through the 33 period, she can just continuously keep doing that. And, like, the way that Naruto just, like, describes it after everything with, like, the guns and, like, everything that he's got fucking planned for this shit. It's just, like, he's pulling, like, fucking guns out. It's like, yeah, this is what we've got to do. Like, regardless of what, like, you've got to think of this shit really fucking carefully, Mirai, like, and everything's like, I know, like, he's not supposed to be the leader, but it's like, yeah, look, out of our little group, you've got to, like, do this situation, like, out of there. It's just like, but he's just like, I just don't want to become the kind of dad who wasn't able to do anything for my children and who did not try to do anything. I've chosen to be a god candidate. I'll take responsibility and do everything I can within my power. And, like, they decided, yeah, we're going to work together, but we've got some, like, ground rules that we've got to set here. One, you got to continue your treatment, because, like, you can't give up. You still, like, every day and all that you stay alive is another day that your, like, family can, like, cherish with you and, like, do, like, spend time with, which is shit that you should do. And with all, like, these guns and everything, it's like, look, right now it's like, you know, you gotta come with me and all that, because each moment passes, the number of victims increases with all our power. Let's put this to an end. And we see this bitch, me, completely fucking, like, just goring up this bitch. She's like, in her clothes like that, just barely got any clothes on. She's like, oh, I'm loving this and all that. And it's like, yeah, they did a real, like, definitely you can tell with the Death Note guys, they were clearly trying to hide that bad shot because they're having the knife, oh, just clearly putting it away like that. And it's just like, oh, this is amazing, I love this, like that, licking it up, and it's like, well, I'm off to get the next one. It's like, oh, I haven't got clothes on, like, tee-hee, like that. And it's just like, wow, like, you're a fucking sick bitch, I will tell you that much. And it's like, definitely making, like, I'm glad that the whole candidate thing is getting a lot more interesting. It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna give you the fucking arrow, like, I don't give a fucking all that. For that, you can actually do anything like that. And just the fact that it's like, you know, he's using this as like one ploy, like, you know, Metropolitan Man's like, he's using it saying like, oh, there might be one or two good-hearted, like, idiot among the candidates that will try and stop her and try and put this shit to play, where it's like, well, yeah, then he can get some gold candidates to come out and sort this shit out. And then also as well, it's like, you know, oh, as long as my friend just gets his wish and all that, to all ugly girls to disappear. And it's like, I'm using this, so, you know, it's killing two birds with one stone. It's like, there's just such a weird, like, a bunch of relationship going on with, like, some of these characters, and I really want to know a lot more about, like, each and every one of these characters. Overall, like, these are very fantastic chapters, and I feel like there's just a lot you can go on to either way and all that, like, how they are. But I will say one thing through certain and all that, like Roku Kaido, like, he is probably my favorite character so far in the series. One, because I love how they always, like, fucking, like, about, like, how they do the art on him. It's so fucking fantastic, really nicely rough and all that when he's always got a serious face. And he's such a real, like, because as much as, like, you know, like, with the powers, like, let's be honest and all that, if any, like, people had these powers, yeah, we would do stuff, and, like, regardless of what and all that, you would do selfish things with these powers. I think a lot of people would do that. But in the end of the day, I think he kind of has the same mentality as I would in this situation. I mean, if I had that like terminal cancer and all that, I think, like, especially if I had a family or if I had loved ones and there wasn't a lot, you know, and there was, like, problems like that and I had these powers, I don't give a fuck if anyone would call me evil for that. Like, I don't give a fuck. I would use, like, the red hour for someone to give me that money. I don't care. Like, I would do that over and over again, as long as financially, like, my family is secure and all my loved ones are secure. Like, I wouldn't care, and I really do respect that with that character, and he doesn't seem like a dick at all. Good though change though, but I will say that seemingly, like, the Motley crew that we've got, Asaki, Mirai, and him right now, with, like, I will say though, I think his Angel's, like, my favorite, like, design wise. I really do like her, like, 30. I really do think she looks like a really cool one, and I mean, like, she's, like, alright, and then obviously Nase, but I'm really looking forward to it, and, like, knowing that already the first volume did fantastic, and I think, like, the second volume just came out as well like that. It's because they showed off the cover, like, with Nase. She's on the cover of the next one, so I'm really looking forward to it, and I cannot wait. It's probably going to be like 3 or 4 volumes out in Japan, but it's probably going to be a while that we're going to get, like, a Platinum End out over here, although we are getting the chapters digitally as well, which is awesome. So I cannot wait to see more of this when it each comes out every week, because god damn it, I fucking love, you know, I'm loving Platinum End right now. I think it's really good, and I think it's really, like, oh, like, as, like, aside as, like, you know, I love the planning, I love all the stuff that they're doing with this series, and, like, all the trickery and the plan, like, everything, even the action, it's awesome, all that. It does make it a little bit hard to, like, keep up with it sometimes, like, but overall, fantastic. So definitely, I think, like, for both of these chapters, I will have to give this an 8.5 out of 10. I really did enjoy this. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What do you think about these 2 chapters? Like I said, I am sorry about what happened about me skipping over to, like, that last chapter, or chapter 7, but I decided to make it up to you guys and do the 2 chapters in this one. But, you know, I hopefully will keep doing this to 9 and 10, because I want to continue doing this. I know it doesn't do that well, but it's like, regardless of what, this is something I feel very strongly where I put my foot down. It's like, I want to continue doing this and all that, and at least I want to keep getting, like, building some promotion up to this and getting people saying you should really check out this series. So thank you very much for watching. As always, you love Planet Nerd as much as I do. You know what, hit that like, you know, hit that subscribe button. That's all for me, so I'll keep these guys next time.